Most believers don't actually have a pastor problem, they have a responsibility problem. We expect pastors to be holy, disciplined, and prayerful, but we excuse the same things in ourselves. The real question is why. We need to have an honest conversation in the body of Christ because somewhere along the line we created an imbalance. We expected pastors to be holy, we expected ministers to pray, we expected leaders to live right, but quietly we excuse ourselves. We say things like, they are called, they should know better. But let me ask you a serious question. Are you not called to? Because the truth is, calling is not limited to the pulpit. Every believer carries a responsibility for their spiritual growth. The problem is not that we honor pastors, that is right and biblical. The problem is this: we have used honor as an excuse to avoid personal accountability. So now, we have believers who are quick to point out the weakness of a pastor, but slow to confront the weakness in their own lives. For instance, now you see people blaming church because they fall victim. They forget the place in the Bible that says that there will be many that will cover themselves with sheep clothes. There will be many wolves that will cover themselves in sheep clothing. They forget that it is their responsibility to lend. It is their responsibility to ask for the spirit of discernment so that they will not fall victim. They don't know that it is their responsibility to know what is right from what is left so that they will not fall victim. God will never come down and do this for us. God will never come down and begin to point to you that, this pastor is a vehicle, don't go to this church, or force you not to enter into a particular place you want to enter. But you can ask for spirit of discernment from God, and it will give you that spirit of discernment, and you will be able to discern where the spirit of God is and where the presence of God is not. That is part of our responsibility. So now, we have believers who are quick to point out the weakness of a pastor, but slow to confront the weakness in their own lives. We complain, this pastor is not deep. This pastor doesn't pray. This church is not on fire. This church is fake. This church is that and those. But let me flip the question back to you. Are you deep? Do you pray? Are you on fire? Because spiritual maturity is not something a pastor can do for you. It is something you must take responsibility for yourself. Listen now. When we over-glorify the pulpit, we underdevelop the believer. And that is dangerous because it creates a generation of Christians who depend on sermons but lack personal development, lack personal devotion, who love messages but avoid discipline, who celebrate anointed leaders but neglect their own growth. And that is not how the Christendom is supposed to function. God is not raising spectators. He is raising participants. So before you criticize the pulpit, check your prayer life, check your consistency, check your hunger for God, because at the end of the day, you will not stand before God with your pastor. You will stand as an individual. Now, so here is the real question. Are you holding yourself to the same standard you expect from your pastor? Or have you been using the pulpit as an excuse to avoid your own responsibility? Now, let's do this. This is a reflection, or can I call it a call to action? If this challenged you, like, share, and subscribe to this channel. Do well to share this and come back for many more posts and teaching as this. And in the comments, in the comment section, be honest. Do you think believers expect too much from pastors and too little from themselves? Be honest with this question. Let me ask it again. I want you to leave in the comment section. Do you think believers expect too much from pastors or leaders and too little from themselves? God bless you.